Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. I say all the time, collect what you want. If you find something fascinating, that belongs in your collection. And sometimes it may be a weird serial number. Fine. Understand that if you found it, great, save it. But if someone's trying to get extra money out of you for it, you better think twice. Other times, you may run across stuff that has nothing to do with actual money, like when I went golfing and I found this golf ball. And this golf ball's got $100 bills, both front and back, all over it. This is a novelty golf ball. Somebody tried hitting it, of course, right there, knocking off all the print. There's not even a brand name on this, so I can't imagine that this would have been a good golf ball. Most likely just designed for putting or just a novelty to go on your shelf. But this was one of the balls that I found golfing, and it's just funny that no matter what you do, you always seem to be on the lookout for stuff that involves your hobby. And there we go, my $100 golf ball I got straight from the golf course, sitting in the fairway. Somebody lost it, I found it. Just funny how things work out that way. All right, what do I have for you guys this week? I actually found a lot. So we've got two little stacks here, and I'm going to run through them as quickly as I can. Starting over here, first note I'm going to show, this one is in horrible condition. That's why I didn't put it in a sleeve. Probably going to go away. This one is quad pairs. It's 11884455. Do I think these are worth any money? No, not really. Do I think they're neat? Sure. Would I ever buy one? No. Would I ever sell one? No. But I found it. It's neat. I'm saving it. I found one of these, and when I saw it, I had to pull it because it made me laugh. There is something called a binary, and a binary is when you have two digits, ones and eights. You'd have a serial number that's all ones and eights. But the thing is that the binary started off with people looking for the binary code, which would be zeros and ones. And finding zeros and ones on a note, that is called a true binary. Those are rare. Those are worth money. A lot of people are looking for those. You can get real money for a true binary. But a true binary is hard to find. So that's why people's just starting collecting regular binaries. But people searching for regular binaries realize those two are also hard to find. So they start collecting trinaries. And then they decided that they were going to put the title of a true trinary on zeros, ones, and twos, even though there is no trinary code, there is no trinary system. There's nothing special about zeros, ones, and twos other than them being the first three numbers on a note. But if that's your rationale, then sevens, eights, and nines should also be valuable for the same reason. They're confusing the binary code with zeros and ones and just adding zeros, ones, and twos to try to stress value. So we've taken trinaries and they've tried to make them into true trinaries, which isn't a thing. But then people don't want to sort through hundreds of notes to find trinaries or true trinaries. They only want to sort through 20 notes. And that's when you get to a true quadrinary. That's what this is. This is such a joke. Zeros, ones, twos, and threes. Quadrinary meaning there's only 4 different digits, and they're all zeros, ones, twos, and threes. So this must be worth $1 million. No, I've done videos recently laughing at people about these, but I found it. I figured I'd pull it just to laugh at them again. Found some stripper notes, multiple, 1, 2, 3. All of these, you can see through them. I don't have to hold them up to the light. You can still see through them because they are soaked in baby oil. Yeah, don't want to think about where they have been. Thought about putting on gloves. Anyway, then I found a Where's George and another Where's George. These will be fun to log. And I noticed this one. It was interesting. Still not worth any money. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, ideally, you want one more number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is a partial ladder that you might actually be able to get some money for. 5 digits, no. 6 digits, yes. But 5 digits, no, not really. I found it, I figured I'd show it. So now we get to the actual trinary part. 3s, 5s, and 7s. 3s, 7s, and 8s. 1s, 5s, and 7s. 0s, 7s, and 8s. Just making sure, because I see 707 and this is 708. Yeah, so it is not a repeater. 4s, 5s, and 7s. 2s, 6s, and 8s. And quads. This starts off with quad zeros. That does not make it a low number. For a low serial number, you want to have at least 5 zeros, and this 0 doesn't count. You want the first 5 digits to be all zeros. If not, it's not considered a low number. I've shown you guys the computer already. You guys know that. So if 0000 isn't worth anything, well, there's your proof that no 4 digits in any particular pattern on there is going to be worth anything. If zeros are the best number to have and the first 4 positions are the best position, and that's worthless, then having quads in any other position with any other digit is clearly worthless. Quad 2s, and once again, for those of you who want to know, I save these trying to pair serial numbers, trying to find matching serial numbers. Even matched serial numbers probably aren't worth anything, but I find it neat, and it makes collecting fun. Sue me for wanting to have fun with my hobby. Stars. Here's a 2013 B star note, and if I look, this is in the duplicate range. The duplicate range is 250,000 or less, or 032 to 096. This one's 056, so that's in the range. There's a 2009 star, and then some older notes. There are a lot of these, so I'm going to whip through them. 2003A. I found a whole strap that was all older notes. Some of them were 2006 and 2009, but these are all 2003A. Here we get to the 2003. Oh, no, 2003A. Still going. Still going. So it was nice to find a clump of older notes like that. Whenever you run into a clump of notes, you're hoping that you're going to score a couple web notes, or at least one. But yeah, these here are still all the 2003s. Here's 2003 without the A finally. And then the second half. Yes, we're working on it. 1999, good shape on that one. Some of these are good, some of these are pretty rough. But finding a strap with a bunch of older notes, that's where you have the opportunity to upgrade some of the stuff in your collection, because you are likely to find notes like this one, 1995 from New York. That's actually still fairly crisp. 1995. None of these are webs. Interesting here, I found a Y note. That's cool, just to give you an idea what that represents. If you start off with 00001 and you go to 96 million, we'll call it 100 million just to make it good, it would have an A. So for the first 100 million is A, then another 100 million is B. Every 100 million per letter. By the time you get to Y, we are talking over 2.4 billion notes printed. That's what this represents. Another 1995, and again, lots of these. None of these are web notes. This one's actually quads. That's kind of cool. Maybe I should pull that and put that with the other stuff. More 95, more. Yeah, I found quite a few of those, like I said. And so many of them like this one in really good shape. Makes me feel better about getting rid of the older ones. Here's one that goes to X. More 95s. This one's crisp as well. Yeah, it's just fun finding the crisp older notes. This one's crisp. 95, 95, 95 with quads on it again. More 95s. Yeah, so just cool. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, well, with all those 95s, did you find any of the interesting 1995s? Well, maybe. That's a 93. Here's a 1988A, 1980, no, crisp, 1969. 1963B, Joseph W. Barr note without the ink like we found last week. And this is a crisp, almost uncirculated 1995. And if I turn it over and we look, yep, It's plate 295. Plate 295 has an engraving error where they made the plate number too small. So this is an engraving error, and it's noted as an engraving error. This is worth some money, and especially in this condition. So yeah, always fun to look through a batch of older notes to see if you can't score a web note, or if you can't find one of the elusive plate 295s in good condition. All right, so that's that. What did I pull out this week? Well, like I said to start with, sometimes it's fun to buy stuff or to get stuff in your collection that is fun, is entertaining, is you know, I don't have a whole lot of info on this. I looked and I can't find any. This is from Claverack, New York, and it is a $500 First College National Bank note. It's a $500 bill. Okay, $500 bill, and if we read all the fine print, let's check it out. 500 First College National Bank of Claverack, Columbia County, New York, will pay to the bearer $500 in tuition on receipt of current funds, February 23rd, 1864. And what is that? Alonzo Flack. That's what that looks like for the signature. And Peter Hoffman over here. I'm assuming that's the school. Showing $500 there. And what do we got here? Trying to read some of the bottom. Very difficult to read that stuff. Gonna check the border for anything else. Any little hints about anything at all. It looks like someone tried to put their initials in the engraving here, which is kind of neat. Was that Smith? I think so. It looks like Smith and then NY after it. But down here we can kind of see a lith of Henry Siebert, and then the ink over it. It makes it a little difficult. What's this? It's a beehive. A beehive with flowers. Kind of interesting. The back of the note, there's nothing on the back, so they only print it on one side. And you can see it says tape repairs and stained. And there's the tape repairs, clearly stained. But it's a $500 note. Okay, so why did I get this? I got this because, first of all, it's graded. Okay? Somebody thought enough of this note to send it into the grading company. Now, yeah, it got a 25 net, and the net is because of the staining in the tape. But for this note to have been graded, somebody paid $40 to $60 to have the note graded. I mean, just the grading alone is $40 to $60, depending on how many notes they sent in, right? I mean, that's the cost of grading. What did I pay for this $500 bill? I got it for 49 bucks. So it's like I paid the grading company to grade it and then got the rest of the note for free. So yeah, like I said, regardless of what it actually is, I paid the cost of grading to have the note. Now, I tried to do some homework on this note. I pulled out my Don Kelly book of Obsolete Paper Money, and it doesn't list anything for Claverack, New York. It doesn't list anything for Columbia County, New York. So I was unable to find out any information as to what it's actually worth. But like I said, somebody went through all the trouble of sending it off to get graded, and somebody put in $40 to $60 in that grading, and then sold it for $49. Go figure. So yeah, I was more than happy to add this to my collection for that price. It's not too often you get the opportunity to get a larger size note like this, and to do it for that price, that was most certainly worth it for me. So that's what I've got for you guys this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.